Hey, Raindrops. Yes, I am going on tour. Reality with the King tour is coming to a city near you. We are kicking things off in New Jersey with the Queen of Jersey, baby, Teresa Giudice, on Saturday, April 13th at the White Eagle. On Monday, April 22nd, I am doing a live Messy Mondays with the one, the only Tamar Braxton in Atlanta at City Winery. On Thursday, April 25th, I am going to California, the OC baby, with a very special guest, Teddy Mellencamp at Irvine Improv. That is, again, Thursday, April 25th. For all my mothers, darling, yes, on Mother's Day, I am celebrating all the mothers. Come party with the King, honey, and the cast of Love and Marriage DC. Just the women, though. Ashley, Irena, Winter, and Joy. We're all going to celebrate Mother's Day together on a big Mother's Day brunch. That is Sunday, May 12th in DC at the very prestigious Howard Theater. To get your tickets, look down the link below, okay? Buy your tickets, and I will see you soon.
Okay, so Raindrops, this one is very special. No, this is not AI. Nothing is artificially here, baby. I, the Carlos King, got Dr. Simone out of the doctor's office to make an appearance on her favorite blogger's podcast. Yes, honey. I could not be. Listen, I'm gonna run with this one because I love her. No, listen, we're gonna talk about that. And you all know my Detroit sis. Y'all may call her treacherous Toya, but baby, to me, she is my love. Give it up for the stars, baby. The dynamic duo. Their husbands were here last time, but not got the wives.
How are we going to outdo that?
Did you like the interview? Okay, first of all,
fantastic job.
Y'all are proud of me.
Very, very.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Are you going to be as sweet to
yes. Great questions, very entertaining. I got so many calls, and they were like, they loved it. I mean, I literally, honestly, on my way here, I sent it to my mom. Because she was like, what interview? She couldn't wait, you know. So she didn't call me back yet, but she will.
She's watching it?
Yeah, she's watching
Did you like it, Was it Dr. Simone approved?
I loved it. And for a nanosecond, when you asked Cecil about Tammy, I thought, Carlos likes me. For a nanosecond.
I was doing it for the audience. I don't care, personally.
Okay.
What I do is for the audience. And I want to start with this. All jokes aside, I am so grateful and thankful that you said yes to coming on my podcast because number one, you don't do interviews. you do not do press.
If Bravo sets them up, I do.
Oh yeah, Bravo sets them up, but you're not like
outside of that. I don't.
You're not like out there with the publicist outside of Bravo's publicist trying to garner press. And you've been on the show for 10 years, and you have always focused, you know, primarily on your business.
Yeah.
On the amazing work you have done in the community of Georgia and in the medical field. So I really do appreciate you being here. And for me, I want the audience to know this. And I'm not going to get emotional because this means something to me. What it means to me is, as Black people in Unscripted, it's only so few of us. And yes, I have my own production company. I have my own shows that I do talk about. And, you know, I choose to make Married to Medicine my priority because I always felt that it was the best show on the air to me. And to be able for this season to have the opportunity for every Monday to go live with Dr. Heavenly, who's my dentist and friend, just to like give our opinions on the show, you know, has really made people aware that, no, this show you guys should be watching. And yes, you and I had a misunderstanding.
We're beefing?
I know, apparently we're beefing. No. And what's funny about this is this. What we're showing the world is this. Nothing is that deep.
Correct.
We had fun with it. I have been told from Dr. Heavily to your husband.
Correct.
Saying like, it was no shade there. And
zero shade.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here in person so that I can say to you, so that I can say to your raindrops, it absolutely was not shade to you. What I was trying to say is, I'm thinking in my head, we're doing good. In my phone, on the text messages, I'm doing good with this person. And then all of a sudden, there's an interviewer, there's a blogger, there is a tweet that shows me something different than what's going on in reality.
Yes.
And that really, honestly, and this has been going on for years. So it wasn't just this year that it happened. And I was trying to make that point. I am sorry if I offended you. I have known about you since you were producing on Housewives, with your shows. Cecil and I watch several of your shows. Like, we got your back as a Black man.
Yes.
You had the After Dark show. We were watching that every episode.
Thank you.
And so I don't have to be invited to an interview. I don't have to be your favorite cast member on my show for me to still support Black excellence.
Yes, absolutely. And I thank you for that. And I, of course, feel the same way. And listen, it also goes to show you that, listen, sometimes, and I'll take responsibility for this, you get caught up in the fray of like, you know, people, and I'm a funny guy, I like to have fun. And again, this is to show the world that it ain't that deep. It was never that deep.
Yeah.
And I am happy to have cleared the air. And we're going to have fun. We're going to get into some stuff too, child. but for the most part, I want to say thank you, too, for doing this. Again, Married to Medicine is my favorite show. I've said it for years. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. And this season has been fucking amazing.
Really? What makes it amazing?
Listen, let's have a real conversation.
Let's do it.
First of all, every season has been fantastic. You guys, in my humble opinion, you guys have been the only show to me that has consistently had great seasons.
Yes.
You know how some seasons be like, child, this ain't that greatest, but it's okay, we're going to fix it next season. You guys have consistently been great.
Okay.
So that's no surprise. This season, baby, we got to give it up for Sweet Tea.
Okay.
You know, we're going to give it up to Sweet Tea.
I'm so glad you said that, because she's like, he doesn't.
She needs it.
What's crazy about this with Sweet Tea is this, and Sweet Tea, if you're watching, I want you to know this. What Simone and I just did was have a real grown conversation and some ownership. And for me, if you watch the stuff that people don't clip to show you, I said day one on my recaps with Heavenly, that's Sweet Tea, baby. Now look, am I right? I said day one, I was like, she's the one. Now, we're having fun. So there's fun shade like, well, Qua's on her vision board and all that stuff. It's me being silly. Yeah. And if I offended you, Sweet Tea, I apologize. I'm never here to offend the girls. Yeah. I love all the girls.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not here to offend the girls. I said day one, Sweet Tea brought something that the show needed. And Phaedra,
she said,
I'm going to tell you, Phaedra, obviously being a former housewife, brought that excitement, like, what are we going to get? Exactly. And then I was like, okay, back to Sweet Tea. But because you ladies are the OGs, so you already know how this is made.
Yes.
So it was that, Dr. G, and the quad thing, and they made everyone sort of like figure out this new world that you guys embraced. An amazing season. 46% increase in the ratings. You guys have done so well in the ratings, beating other shows in live same day, which is hard to do your 10th season.
Yes.
I did hear, though, that with this show getting the attention that it always deserved, that some of the cast aren't used to it, and it's becoming a little, I'm not going to say scary, it's just different, because it's now like Well, damn,
we got
everything
beat down
Go ahead.
this season. The absolute beat down. And the majority of the feedback that I've gotten from Twitter, from social media, 80% of it has been positive. I've had a bad year, but this year, they are dragging me through the mud.
But they're dragging her after the reunion.
But
I got
dragged after Napa.
I got blamed for Napa. It was almost like even though Simone was the one who initiated, and let's be clear, I want everyone to know, this woman will never do what I ask her to do if you don't agree. Let me finish.
Absolutely.
If you don't agree, if she doesn't agree with what I'm asking,
correct.
She's going, and she knows there hasn't been a season that I have ever said, hey, I think she should be off our show, to anyone. I have never said that about Mariah. I've never said it about Quad. I've never said it about Heavenly. What I will say is there should be some type of equality amongst us. If I film a certain amount of time, if I show my family, if I show, personal, real life things, I would like to see the same for our audience. I don't believe that was happening for years on our show. And so I think Napa was the buildup for everyone. I think everyone was just at a place where they were just like, they had their own reasons, but it really was about that individual not showing up. And to this day, she's still gonna show up.
Well, let's get into that. So, based on what we've seen, right? Because again, I create shows, I produce shows, so I know firsthand you can't show everything.
Right.
Like you just can't. We have 42 minutes to show y'all a plethora of scenes, and you're gonna miss the mark sometimes, right? What we saw was there wasn't enough evidence as the audience. Just the audience.
Really? So you mean there wasn't enough evidence for the season or in seasons past?
Okay, I'm going to say this. Yeah, I watch every season.
Okay.
Even the ones Buffy was on, Audra, who should come back. I love me some Audra, baby. Do you like Audra?
I don't know her to like her.
Okay.
You sure you watched every season? Because you would know how Toya feels.
That's why I have to throw
I don't know her to like her.
But I've gotten to know her a little bit more now than during the season. I felt like she didn't really reach out. My advice to anybody new filming a reality show that's existing, get to know everybody for yourself. Don't just believe what you've watched. Get in there, get to know each individual for yourself. Even if you think that's somebody I would never like. Because filming with each lady on my show, especially one-on-one, you can have a good time. You're going to have some laughs with each and every one of us. Mm-hmm. But if you don't take the time to do it, you're not going to know that.
Yeah, no, I agree. You have to get to know people outside of the show. And I know that when it comes to Quad, a lot of you ladies felt that if you guys weren't filming a scene, you did not hear from her. I'm aware that you ladies have said that off season, you guys just do not talk at all, meaning she doesn't talk to you ladies. You ladies keep in touch with each other. So we know that. But from the audience, obviously we don't see that. What we did see in past seasons was she wasn't the closest to you ladies, especially when she made the speech about her sister circle co-host. And we saw that you ladies were upset there. Now this season, yes, again, only speaking as a viewer, we did not see enough evidence to where Qua had to get kicked off the island in her Versace robe, being called down from a hotel suite.
And honestly, I hate that because none of us wanted that. I think the problem was the cameras were up and they just did not show the way Quad really came into Napa. It was like, she was like, look, I'm here for a check only, not to support you. And then she turns around and sits at the dinner table and she's like, I'm here to support you. I'm for you. And it was like, what's wrong with her? And so we just got to the point where we're fed up. We just wanted people to be their genuine selves. If you genuinely don't want to support Toya, or if you have an issue with me, whether it be Audra or anyone, you know what I'm saying? Do what you would do in real life, not what you would do because the camera's on.
So let's just analyze what was shown. Let's give credit to the editing, right? She wasn't around. First appearance, you crash a bachelorette party you were not invited to.
And what was the purpose of that?
Okay, so we're not even going to get into the purpose. You crashed a party that you were not invited to. And then you have a resurrection that basically turned into a shit show. We ended on a shit show.
And she said, I thought
we did not end in a good way, right? And so now the next thing is Napa. Okay, let's keep it a buck. Forget editing. Let's keep it a buck. Mm-hmm. The Napa trip belonged to Toya.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, I'm all about it. We're going to make this trip great. She's more than welcome to come.
What place is she with Toya?
I said outside of my business,
and if it were me, right, you got to have a one-on-one with the person whose trip it was.
And she didn't want it.
I would have fought with production to have a one-on-one. Listen, I heard a phone call, a FaceTime, anything. Listen, I heard you were having a girls' trip. I know that you and I are not in the best place. I know that the resurrection hasn't gone well. Our production company loves a one-on-one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Loves.
And me and Brian haven't had a one-on-one in years.
And so again,
that's true.
Show some effort, like you're really trying to fake us out to be a part of the group, right? Other than you're on a show cashing a check. And I'll take the beat down with the viewers. I'll take it because I stand in my authentic self. And on that trip, she had a connection with 0 people. It didn't make logical sense that she was there. Mm-hmm. She didn't fly out there with anybody. Nobody wanted to be associated with her in flight. You know how we do the little...
And we weren't affecting her check. Because really and truly, had it been me or Simone, we would have stayed. And we would have been turning up. And they would have filmed it. They would have filmed me by myself, doing something. And she would have been in an episode. Because Quad maybe filmed 3, 4, 5 times, but she still was in every episode. She does it all the time. She signs her contract late. We've already started. We will literally have started and filmed the whole month. And they will look at like Quad was in the first episode.
And she would have been in that episode even if she had a one-on-one with Toya and it was a blow-up. She would still been in the episode. And so it is about maneuvering in a way that's smart and convincing, right? But you can't blame us for your issues with anybody. If you are not getting along with anybody in the room, you are the common denominator. You are the problem. I love that she has people that ride with her.
Outside of the show.
I ride with her. I tried riding with her. She's not interested. That's okay. Pack your bags. Go home.
When you watch the episode, though, because, I want to have a real conversation, too.
Yeah. When you first watched it. When she first watched it, she was like, I'm going to get it. They're going to kill me.
Well, that's the thing. Kill me. I'm and you know me, I'm very real. I'm very honest. When I watched that episode, it did something to me.
It evoked emotion.
It did because...
That's great.
Because...
But that's your boo.
Well, no. Listen. Let's be real.
Had I sent Alicia home, it would have done something to you?
Not at that time.
Not at that time because...
Right.
I'm like, wow, because she's talking.
Right.
She surpassed the new challenge. Now, she was on Beyonce's new challenge for a decade. Yeah. But now, Dr. Alicia, I'm advocating for you to come back next season. I do like her. No, I'm going to be real. Obviously, yes, I'm friends with Quad. I'm also friends with Toya. I'm friends with Heavenly. you and I will be friends now that we met. But no, real talk, because I have such affection for this show. And the reason why I love this show is because I always said to myself, damn, one thing about this cast, they get into it or they find a way to bring it back home.
Yes.
And that's what's missing on reality television. I look at my own shows like, I got to figure some shit out because y'all beefing way too long and I'm over it. And I have to fly down to some cities, hey, Huntsville, to get them together, get back together. So what triggered me outside of her being my friend, I was triggered by just one person being exiled. In terms of, again, I'm only just watching the show.
That's fair.
And
were you triggered because the public also said we had exiled Mariah?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Again, because the public exiles me when they feel like it. Okay. I get red. I'll be like, child, y'all crazy.
Do we have the ability to exile, though?
No, you don't. You do not.
Exactly.
So I'm going to tell you what.
We don't have that kind of power.
No, I'm going to tell you what triggered me. It felt like we're all going to let her know how we feel by any means necessary, even when she was apologizing. Because I'm gonna tell you what went wrong. Okay. Let's be real. Okay. What went wrong was, at least when the camera was rolling,
she was apologizing.
She apologized a lot. I don't know what happened before, during a lunch break, a battery change, a potty break. All I can say to you on the television, because I want you guys to really see things from the perspective of the audience. Yes. And again, I produce this shit, so I know way more.
Yes.
Right? It triggered me because I was like, I don't want y'all to be seen as a bunch of bullies. Because I never seen that in the 10 years on this show. And so it wasn't triggering that my friend was exiled.
So how would you have handled it? Producer hat.
Real talk?
Yes.
I would have done a one-on-one.
Her and I.
Yes. And I would have been the spokesperson on behalf of the collective. This is how we're feeling. And if you would like to understand how the girls are feeling, let you and I have the conversation. And then we're at a decent place. Let me bring you into the collective. Because if they visually see that, okay, Toya and Quad made amends, at least we know she's at the place to do so.
Right. Well, that's what we did with Mariah. Back in the day, remember, in New Orleans.
Yes.
That was how we brought her back. Me and Mariah had a conversation, and I said, I'm going to bring you to New Orleans. No one knew. When she appeared, they all looked at me like, really? You brought her? I mean, off camera, there was so much going on. Mm-hmm. But you're right. It did allow them to say, well, she's back. She has a connection here. Maybe we need to figure out our own connections with her. But from a producer standpoint, you're saying that he should have orchestrated that himself, because the difference between our show, what I would have to say, than a lot of shows, is that we don't orchestrate stuff.
Correct.
It's truly about organically about how we feel, how we move, and why would I call her? You see what I'm saying? After everything that has transpired with me back then, and this is us talking about the situation back then, right? Mm-hmm. Why would I have called her? Because everything that had happened with her and my husband and I, my children, everything else, had never been settled. There was no I'm sorry at that point from her. Never. Not even at the reunion last year. There was nothing. There was no ownership. We went to BravoCon. Never. And then when the camera goes up, it was random.
So you felt like Quad plays to the camera. She plays to the audience.
She's a professional.
Yes. And I think that to have a great show, you have to have a couple of those.
Professional.
You do. You have you and I both know. You have one person that caters to the audience, and whatever the audience says, whatever the audience is saying, that is heavenly. If the audience is saying, are you disagreeing?
She does do that.
If the audience is saying they don't like Toya, Heavenly does not like Toya. Heavenly's going to
serious?
Yes.
Oh.
Then you have that other individual who is the victim.
Who's that? American Medicine.
You tell me, because you said you're an advocate. You've been watching since day one. But you do know they exist.
Who's the victim of American Medicine?
I would say that, I hate to say it because then, oh my God, Toya's mad at Quad. I'm not mad at her. I just don't like the gaslighting that she does. It's like she constantly plays this role, like, they don't, and then she waits for the audience to say things like, well, if they don't like you, Quad, you should go on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it's like, isn't this the same thing that you did with Mariah? It's the exact same thing.
I did ask her that.
It is. And she can't, for the life of me, I don't understand why she can't see it. You literally said this girl was doing drugs. You went on and said her family. Y'all said whatever about each other, right? Mm-hmm. Dragged each other through the mud. Never came back around. But you want people to come back around for you.
Well, we did see at the reunion, though.
And I do come back around. Especially off camera.
At the reunion, she went on an apology tour.
Well, I did say that. I said Beyonce sold out her tour. My tour, Reality with the King, Coming to a City Near You, my tour is selling out. And I said Qua is on the apology tour.
And I honestly think she was genuine.
I thought she was genuine too.
I think I have a good judge of character, and I think at that time she was genuinely apologetic. But she also knows, and everyone knows in this industry, that at the reunion, if you don't do, that's almost putting a nail in your coffin.
If you don't make amends.
Yeah. And if you don't give enough for people to talk about you. It's a reunion, for God's sake. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, was it convenient TV for her to apologize? I don't know, but I took it genuinely and I said, I appreciate it and moving forward, but there has been no change in anything.
So what we saw at the reunion, and this is what I said to Heavenly when we do our lives. I said that's why I love this fucking show. Because when I saw Dr. Jackie and Qua have that moment, everybody's on a lunch break and they're crying. I said, that's why we love this show. We get to see that. Then we saw that with you and her. I would like to address what happened, part one reunion, where everybody had very strong reactions, even me, based on you telling the story what happened at Qua's home with the child. I did say to my audience, who they like to call you Surround Sound Simone. I'm loud too. But that's fun shade to me.
I'm black, I'm proud, and I'm loud.
Me too. So my raindrop said that is Surround Sound Simone, and I thought that was great. So that's gonna be your fan base. Okay. So I said to the audience, I said, if I'm able to give her the benefit of the doubt, one thing I know about these reunions, you guys are seated far apart, and I said, maybe Dr. Simone did not hear Qua when she said no.
I heard her.
You heard her. Why did you feel the need to say it?
I was making a very specific point that needed to land. And the point is, even when she is not speaking to me, even when I am not speaking to her, I show up. It's whenever I think that's how I process who's real in my life versus who's just here faking it.
But I don't think
because let me finish. Atlanta's one of those cities where people are here when the money is rolling, when the times are good. The room is full. Mm-hmm. It is when shit is down that you got those one or two people right by your side. And even though she was saying not to say it, honestly, it's been said before. It's been on the news. It's been on social media. It is not like I said anything that's not already out there. It is not like I gossiped about anything I heard surrounding it. But the point was, no matter what condition you and I are in, I still show up for you in a real way, the realest that it's ever gonna get. Why didn't I think the question is simply that why didn't I left that reunion on a good foot? I have a whole stream of text messages because I texted her the next day. First of all, she came right after that and hugged me. Mm-hmm. We embraced. Right. I texted her the next day, regardless of this show, regardless of this platform, I'm gonna always love you. 2 weeks ago, I had a birthday. Hey, what's up for your birthday? Let's get together from Quad.
Okay.
I got those receipts in my cell phone. Mm-hmm. And so again, once the episode hits and the fans go in, right? But I stand in my truth. And we're not cool right now.
You're not?
No. Because again, the fans have told her that I'm a low down, dirty bitch for saying it after she told me not to, even though she came to hug me right after that.
What was the last communication you guys had via text?
The birthday.
It was the birthday?
Yes, my birthday is February 23rd. But we've been texting the whole time since January 23rd. So I'm sorry to yell.
No, you cuss around, Simone. You good.
I'm just wondering why. I think the audience, and just speaking from an audience perspective, they probably felt that you were getting too invasive, right? Because she's saying, no, don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
I would have said there was an incident that occurred at her house.
She said that.
No. I would not have mentioned.
Gone further.
I would have gone further into detail because I would have seen this woman already triggered by the thought of me saying it. I would have stopped it. And I'm saying this as somebody who was told by a cast member on Love and Marriage Huntsville when we filmed Martell apologizing to his son. I wasn't in the room. I didn't produce it. I wasn't in the state of Alabama. But because it's my production company and it's my show that I created, I took full responsibility and said, I didn't know, my bad. It will never happen again. And it hasn't. So I think that's why.
But I think it's unfair.
Go ahead.
I think it's unfair for people to feel like we would attack, or Simone would attack Quad in a place where she would have been triggered.
Well, I don't move in a way that I would ever want to harm anybody as a result of filming a show.
Absolutely.
I see you're getting emotional, Dr. Simone. Why is that?
And I made the comment, and as inappropriate as it wasn't my intent to injure her or anybody in her family. It wasn't the intent to re-injure, was to drive home the point. But again, I have nothing but love for Quad. If we never speak again, and that's what I told her the next day, literally, if we never speak again, I still have nothing but love for her. And again, for people to paint this narrative that we would try to push any one individual off of the show is a bad narrative. Each individual owns her position on the show, and she is the only one who keeps her job or loses her job. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You are.
So, if the raindrops say they didn't see a tear fall, it's because I'm trying to save the makeup I paid for. So don't mind me.
Did you get stuck?
But yeah, I don't film with the intent to injure people. I do not get online with the intent to injure people. I do get online and I do get petty sometimes and retweet and like tweets that are negative. I do. but never, I'm not moving in a way. My life is so blessed that I have no reason to be walking around with hate or with malice. I thank God every day for what he gives me, the good and the bad.
If Quad is watching now, is there anything you would like to say to her?
I'm sorry if I injured you or anybody in your family with that comment I made. We've all made mistakes on this platform, and I own mine. That was my mistake.
Listen, I appreciate the two of you really sharing that, because this show, do y'all feel the weight of how popular this season has become? Does it feel different than past season just based on the fandom, the blogs picking it up, the attention is getting? Is it something to where you're like, I mean, we want it to be number one, but damn, is this at what it costs to be number one? Shit, don't back to y'all going on Potomac, child. Like,
I still feel like we've had so many other great seasons, and I'm just like, y'all just now catching on. That I'm still in that. I'm like, y'all wait, y'all need to go back and watch.
So you do feel the difference.
You definitely feel the difference. I mean, like, even seeing it on Shade Room, I was like, real Shade Room, real Shade Room, not Bravo Shade Room, real Shade Room.
So we love Bravo Shade Room.
We love Bravo Shade Room. But, Shade Room, I love Bravo Shade Room. This is not a shade. I love Bravo Shade Room, Bravo Guru, all of them. Mary Nelson, whatever. I love them all, but it is nice to be recognized. It does come with a lot. Because me and Eugene, we could be in a great place. And then he'll bring up something and I'm like, well, I don't agree. And I'm like, God, I don't want to do that in my house. I don't want to argue about what the perception or other people's perception is, because I'm like, you do know, we know the reality. We can't forget the reality. You see what I'm saying? Even though that's what they see, we got to stay in what we know. You see what I'm saying?
If that's what they see, we got to stay with what we know.
Definitely.
That's big. How do you feel? Let's talk about the husbands. Okay? You two have great husbands. Great husbands.
We know.
I'm mad at Cecil for bullying Greg.
Bullying Greg?
I have not told Cecil, but I did not agree. I did not agree. It wasn't something I felt like
he just wanted Greg to answer.
She knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yes or no?
At the reunion, Damon and Greg.
I cheat. Do you think I would have cheated?
Yes. And then Greg said, I don't know what you would do. What's wrong with that? Because here's what Greg should have said. I didn't know I was capable of cheating. I didn't know Jackie's husband was capable of cheating. So I really and honestly don't know what you're capable of. So for you to make me, and I said make, because now he's being double teamed. It's a yes or no answer. It's not a yes or no answer. It's a flat out, I don't know what you're capable of. But if you want me to just say no, just because y'all teaming up against me, I just feel like that wasn't fair. It wasn't fair for Cecil. He should have stayed out of it. And definitely Jackie's husband. What? Quiet, please. Because if this man says he doesn't know, it is what it is.
Do you think Dr. Damon has cheated on Heavenly?
I think everyone
the point is
capable
you can't
of doing
decide that somebody will or will not cheat. You don't know.
And I think everybody,
people that the world would have said, oh, Kathy Lee Gifford said, oh, my husband would never cheat. And what happened?
Who would have thought Bill Clinton would be getting his penis put? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, stuff happened.
I think we all kind of knew that was going to go down.
But that's the reality. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's the president.
So I think...
Would you have guessed Bill Cosby would be locked up?
Right.
No, this is the thing. In Cecil's defense, and this is where my testosterone comes into play.
Please.
I do have some.
You want it? It's a man thing. It's a man thing.
Let me take off this boys may tell you otherwise, but I got a couple. When I watched they're gonna beat me for this one. When I saw that clip, I'm gonna be real with you. I did agree with you. What you're saying now, I felt the same way initially.
Okay.
Like, I didn't feel there was anything wrong with Dr. G's answer of, I don't know.
Okay.
Because if somebody asks me now if my African's cheating, I'm going to say, I don't know. And if he is doing it, keep doing it because I don't know.
And we have a healthy relationship right now.
I got the blood work done, right? I felt that Cecil, because, and again, I don't know these men personally on that level. I felt that Cecil doesn't like for the men to beef. And I felt like he was trying to did the situation because he's like, if you don't answer this man right now, yes or no,
it's going
this is going to go bad. It's going to linger.
But I think Cecil could have just said then, hey, he doesn't know. It's just that simple. And I know it took everything for Eugene to be quiet. Because the reality is...
Why can't you like to talk?
Well, Eugene has an opinion.
You know?
He has an opinion. Eugene has a bigger opinion than me. Let's be clear. But he had an opinion, and I believe that Cecil...
I think all intelligent people have an opinion.
And I don't think that they should have... I don't think that they should have put him in a place where he had to just agree with it's a yes or a no. If that man, and testosterone, that man said, I don't know. I don't know.
No, I listen, I definitely understand your point. Like I said, I felt that way initially too. When it comes to the husbands though, your man gets a lot of flack on social media from the other cast members. Heavenly has...
Not from the other cast members, just from Heavenly.
Okay.
You're right.
Well, you're right. So that's my mistake. From Dr. Heavenly especially, and Quad.
She's a cast member.
Dr. Heavenly and Quad have said some things about your husband that I said to both of them that was wrong. I told Quad calling this man Eugina.
Yes.
Although clever.
Very clever.
You know, listen.
I don't know if she makes them up, but it's clever.
You think Quad's reads are rehearsed?
Wait, what?
Si, senor.
You think Quad comes in with her reads rehearsed?
So you don't think that popped off the top of her head?
Let
you
me
got $4,000 here, you got $3,000 money, you got $2,000. Get the fuck out of here.
Look, we're gonna be real.
Stop.
She has rehearsed reads,
Yeah.
and then, but she can come off the top of her head. She can.
So
But she has rehearsed reads.
I think Phaedra is great with coming off the top of her head. And you can tell the difference. Because she done gave it some thoughts. It was not something that you kind of heard before, or maybe somebody slipped it in her ear. And she got some good people that slip in her ear, slide in her ear, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
Okay. When it comes to your man,
back
honey,
to my man.
who I love, does it affect you when people do call him sassy and zesty, Eugina, you know, he articulated such a good point in terms of like, not all men have to be this toxic masculine man, which I thought for a heterosexual black man to speak to that is really, really touched me, like real talk. But as his wife, does that affect you, or do you see it affect him at home and you have to like deal with it?
I think one of Eugene's biggest issues back in the day used to be, and maybe even still today, he used to say, I hate when people put feminine characteristics on a man just because he does things that some people have said are feminine things, like cooking or you know, hanging out, shopping with your wife. He was like, he really and truly feels like not he really and truly. Eugene is a man, right? When I met Eugene, I knew I was dealing with a man. Not a sassy man, no Eugene, nothing. Everything about him was manly. I remember when he first pushed me on the other side of the street and was like, I have to walk on this side of the street.
But back to the original
Do you see what I'm saying?
Does it bother you?
It can't bother
when
me
your
because
castmates
it bothers me when he asked me, does it bother me? He said that when the public said it. When my castmate says it, of course it bothers me because I know my castmates' MO. They feel like if they say something once, twice, maybe 3 times, it's going to stick and it's going to become this thing that goes viral. And so I'm a protector. right? I'm a mama bear of my sons. I'm a mama bear of my husband. And he's a daddy bear for me. You see what I'm saying? Even when he doesn't agree, we're going to have our conversation on or off camera, whether he agrees or not. But he's still going to be very respectful. He's still going to be a man. He's going to be, and he's right. It doesn't have to be 49, 51. It doesn't have to be. Because he knows what I married is someone, if something happens to me, she can carry this household. And vice versa. And so I can make decisions for our family. And it doesn't emasculate him. You know what I'm saying? What I don't like is, I'm from Detroit, and I'm not blaming it on Detroit, but Detroit women, we are very strong women.
Yes.
We have a strong back. We're pretty aggressive sometimes in our approach, and we're okay with that. We have
every woman on this show is aggressive,
but it's in a different way.
With her husband,
but it's in a different way. It's in a different way.
Every woman on this show,
in a different way. When it comes to the South,
every woman
when it comes to the South,
is laying it out on whatever day we need.
She knows I can't out-talk her. But the reality is there is a Southern dynamic, right?
Yeah.
Even my following base, I have the most followers from Philly, New York first, and Chicago. What does that say? Those are all places where, and I have the least in Atlanta. Okay? And the reality is the women are different in those places. We speak with authority. We are very, we can come across as hard. You know what I'm saying? But I've always told people, Eugene has softened me. Really and truly. I was way worse. Okay? And I love that about him, that he's able to soften me, able to put me in a place of vulnerability. Because we're not that type of women where we want to be vulnerable. We haven't had the luxury of being vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Most of our families in Detroit are not married families. Mm-hmm. There's broken homes everywhere. All of our parents were working in the big three, as we stated before, the Chrysler, the GM, which means they never really went to college. Right? So we're dealing with a fight. It has always been a fight. And so now I meet this man who knows how to soften me, who is loving toward me. And they want to say he's a Eugenia or he's sassy. It doesn't matter to me what they say. I just know what I feel and how he treats me and how he treats our household. And that's it.
How does it feel to be the breadwinner?
I've been the breadwinner for a long time.
What's a long time?
I can't speak to how long you've been the breadwinner.
You know,
3 years, maybe
3-4 years.
How long you been married?
We've been married for...
I've been married 27.
We've been married for 16 years this year. 16 years this year. Maybe 3 or 4 years I've been the breadwinner. And I've taken it on the chin with people saying that, I'm this girl who's just going to put him in the hole. He ain't going to add no money when she done with him.
People really do think
they know that I'm the gold digger. God forbid, I'm sorry, I'm not the gold digger anymore. That's cheap. But that's what they're saying. That's not what I say.
I know.
Right? But the reality is, that's what they've always thought. But I think that's the character, and I'm going to use the word character, that I created. And I'm going to own that. When I look back at past seasons, season 1, 2, 3, I was talking about money all the time. I was talking about shopping. I was shopping for a house that we didn't even have yet. I was doing the craziest things because I'm just a fun-loving, let's be jovial. And then when you look back, you're like, girl, you really didn't talk about saving. You didn't talk about the necessities around the things you were doing. You just were shopping. You were just spending. All my things was Toya coming in with shopping bags with the kids. And I was okay with that back then. But now, seasoned vet, 10 years later, I'm not okay with the perception. And so I do feel like I'm at a place where I have to recreate and show the world who I have always been, but I just never shown them that side of me.
And I think you owe that to the audience because a lot of women are housewives. And one thing that isn't normal is when a woman is a housewife and all of a sudden she becomes the breadwinner and the man still stays. that's an ego trip to a man, because a man likes the idea of providing, if that's how it was set up.
I think that was hard for Eugene.
I was going to ask you.
I mean, I would. Remember, weren't you there when we had that conversation? We were talking about. It was hard for him because he started feeling like, well, what can I give her if she's already getting it for herself? You know, but then it was a turning point maybe 2 Christmases ago. And he got the cutest things made. There were these cartoon characters of us. Our whole family of who we are, AI produced. It was adorable. And then he bought me a little week of tennis, you know, to go away to improve my game. And I was like, oh, he looked in, and he went from within. I don't need a Chanel bag. I don't need anything else of a name brand right now, okay? And he realized, I just gotta go deeper. And I think we're at a good place. I don't count his money. All I ask of Eugene is have your tax money. That's it. Because I don't want to do that.
Do you pay the rent? The mortgage, the rent?
No. No, I think a man should pay the mortgage and the rent. You pay the rent? And I think that threw me off for a minute. I was like,
So no, he takes care of that.
He takes care of that. He takes care of...
Utilities?
He used to take care of my car note. But then I was like, well, you know, I'll take care of it now.
So what do you pay for, Toya?
I pay for my car note. I pay for... I pay for the things that I want.
Do you pay for the utilities?
The utilities are not a big deal. I pay for my children's tuition, which is about $60,000. I pay for all of their clothing. Anything that they need, I supply. I pay for every vacation, and I don't know if you was following, but baby, we don't ship on the vacation. I took the whole family to Paris, to London, and to Amsterdam, and they only fly first class. I do not put my kids somewhere else. No. I do
the viewers are wondering if she's gonna bankrupt Gina.
Right. I take care of
Dr.Simone.
Yeah, I take care of my husband the way he would take care of me. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I buy Eugene for Christmas. I outdid myself with Eugene. He even took stuff back. And he was like, I don't need this. I was like, you do. I want you to do like this. And I trusted. I don't need all this. And I even took back something he bought me. I was like, I don't need this.
So this perception that, and I want to get your thoughts on this too, Dr. Simone. There's this perception that you are looking for an exit plan, that you're going to leave Dr. Eugene. You really want a hood boy, right, to be your man. The only reason why you're with Dr. Eugene is to stay on the show. There's people who say you're really mad at Quad because Quad divorced Dr. G and she's still on the show, and you wish you had her life.
That's good. That sounds good.
And they're accusing you of cheating on him, as you know, too.
I think that in every marriage, there's a trying time. And there was a time, maybe 2-3 years ago, me and Eugene just were not communicating well. And it was around the people calling him Eugenia, you know, and it started before that, though. It started with me feeling like he was attacking me with my children on camera. And he was like, what do you mean? And maybe I wasn't expressing myself in the right way, but I was feeling like I was being attacked in so many areas. You know, it was like production had always showing me with alcohol. And I was just like, this is not fair. And then I got to come home and I got to deal with them. And they're making jokes about, you know, how I talk. And they never made jokes about how I talk before. And it was like, I was getting hit in so many directions that it was starting to affect me as a person, my own personal self-esteem. And I was like, that's not like Toya. Toya has high self-esteem. Toya she knows who she is. I know who I am in God. I know who he created. And I'm okay with that girl. And when it was like I was speaking another language. And it was because he was obviously speaking another language to me, and our communication was dead. Right? Dead. And I had to go back home. I went back to Michigan, and I spent some time with some very old friends of mine that I had been friends with, whether it be my ex, who's a really nice person, that Eugene knew about, introduced all of that. No, it's the truth. Right, I did. I didn't spend time, but we all sat down, me and, and my girls.
How long were you in Michigan?
I was just going quite a bit. And then all of a sudden I was like, I'm going to start a business channel. I want to do some marijuana sales. I want to do, legally. And then it was one of the moments where I wasn't even talking to Eugene anymore. I was talking to my friends. And I was talking to my girlfriends. And it was because they were telling me things like, girl, we know who you are. Why all of a sudden are you crying every time you think about this show? Why are you so upset? Why is it affecting your marriage? You know who you are. I know who you are. You're a good friend. And to hear it from people that had known you for 20 years, it felt better for me. And so I kind of just shut down. And so we did have the conversation of maybe this marriage isn't working. We did sit down with the kids and we're like, we may not go any further, but it's okay. You and I, the kid, nothing's going to change in our family dynamic because we didn't want to be unhealthy in front of our kids because I was never raised in an environment where I saw my parents argue. Not one time. And I know my dad is terrible. And, but I never saw them argue. And so I was like, when it gets to that place and our kids are at that age where they're taking it all in, something has got to change. And I was like, and I don't want to argue with you. Eugene is the king of slamming doors. I mean, at one point, I think he locked me outside. I was like,
I'm going to drink some more water.
Livid. I was livid.
Yeah, I'm going to drink some more water.
Okay, should I drink some?
Well, you should. Yes.
Oh, okay. But but these, I'm telling y'all things. But this, he closed the patio door and I heard it. I said,
how long were y'all outside for?
Not that long because I said I'm just gonna call the kids to have them come up to let mommy in. And you don't want that. So
some things we have to share with close.
Carlos, I know he is not my therapist. I know,
but
Don't play the raindrop. This is helping women across the world.
But I honestly know it should. Because the reality is marriage is great, right?
Okay.
But it's the hardest job.
Heavenly's gonna hear the interview.
And she will manipulate the conversation.
And then it's gonna be
but I think the reality it can go down. She ain't on YouTube anymore.
Well, shut that down, baby. I'm talking, they shut her shit down. I'm like,
I just feel like in every marriage, whether people want to fake it or not, you know what I'm saying? God. We don't. We were having our own issues, and we came to that place. And I pride me and Eugene on coming back up out of it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We worked hard to come back out of it. We got to a place where we were like, hey, going forward, what's some things you need to change? He found him a psychologist, and this guy, he was amazing. Black guy, married, amazing with Eugene. I went to my pastor's wife. We talked on a regular basis, and we started working on ourselves from within. Mm. And then we were able to start our communication back up. We were happier. Our kids noticed. And they were like, one day Avery said, why y'all kissing so much? Why y'all so happy? It hurt me to hear that. Cause I didn't want them to even be thinking that that's the way marriage life should be. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if we had to go down in the gutter, if we had to go to a place where we just was like, look, this is not healthy for our relationship to continue on, and then come back up out of it, that God willing, we're good. But I don't want Quad's life. God forbid. I don't ever want to have to say I was divorced, couldn't figure it out. I wasn't forgiving, especially when you have children. I've always wanted to be a supportive wife and show my sons what they should find in a mom. Mm-hmm. I cook for them 4 times a week. I have quality time with them, quality conversations with them. And we travel together as a family and we actually have fun.
No, you're a great mom. Yeah, one thing I would say about that, you are a great mom.
I love it. And I like being a good wife to Eugene. But when it got to a place where I wasn't a good wife to him and he felt that way and he wasn't a husband to me, we had to have the real conversation.
No, that's real. And obviously, you know a lot about this because I don't know if I ever said this publicly, and I did not say this to your husband when I spoke with him and Dr. Jean. So my show, Love and Marriage Huntsville, I created that around the time season 5 of Married to Medicine was airing. It was my favorite season because it was really about the ups and downs of couples. And I've never seen that on TV. So mind you, I'm a guy who did all of Atlanta Housewives, right?
Right.
And I'm the one who said, we need Peter and Apollo and we need Todd. And I want the perspective of the men. I just felt like it reflected Black households and conversations. You know, Black folks, we if you're married, we're all friends. Yeah. And we all gonna talk.
Right.
So long story short, no one knows this. I'll say it for the first time now. I was shooting a pilot of Love and Marriage Huntsville around the time of the reunion of season 5. Okay. And I was touched by you and Cecil. And the best thing about that reunion was the fact that everybody rallied to support the two of you. And I said, damn, this, if I'm able to showcase that on Love and Marriage Huntsville as I'm shooting this pilot, then baby, I have a home run. Because I get inspired by everything I'm looking at. And I was inspired by the level of honesty that you and Cecil were dealing with at the time. So when I spoke to Cecil, I remember, because I think, listen, I don't know him that well yet. I think he's the sweetest man in the world. He's so nice and kind and just he's such a good man. And what I thought was so fascinating that season at the reunion was he really appeared confused and lost. Right? It was
I was confused.
Right? Right. So I'm not like okay. So I'm not making this up.
You were not confused.
He really, but he looked that way, right?
Well, we were confused because I wasn't expecting her to say what she said on camera. You know, I was in awe. I knew they were having problems. We all were. We were all confiding in each other and piggybacking off of each other. But I didn't know that was coming. And so when she made it so cut, but you made it so cut and dry at the reunion, you were like, it's over. And it's and then when we get back home, it's going to be over. We were like,
was it really? So when I'm sure you watched it, and it's interesting because I love the fact that he's like, look, I was wrong and I could have done better. And I think the beauty of the show is it lets you look at things and say, oh, maybe that's what it was. When you watched the interview he and I did, and he said he was rushing to fix her tires. And my sisters were in a group chat, and they said, I would have divorced his ass too. If my husband was eager to fix, I don't care if she's your platonic friend or not, it was the urgency for me.
Yeah.
Was that the moment for you, Dr. Simone, you felt like something has to change here?
No, because the thing is, Cecil is like that with all his friends. Mm-hmm. She just happened to be the first female friend that he made into this super important person. But I think the thing is, as a doctor and owning my own business, as a Black woman, we have it so tough already. Sure, I'm strong, I'm loud, I'm aggressive, but the fact is, when you have something break down or my car was stuck on ice, you need a man who rescues you. And Cecil has stopped being the rescuer for me. Mm-hmm. So I would be cool if you say, okay, he's just in a place in his life where he can't rescue anymore. But to see him rescue another woman was like, okay, so he still has it in him.
It's just not for me.
It's just not with me, right?
Got it.
And Tammy was actually problem number 3, not problem number 1. She was problem number 3. But when you're filming reality TV, you have to make things as superficial as you possibly can. And like my therapist said, you don't want to put anything out in the TV universe
that lives on forever.
Yeah, because he was like, it's permanent once you put it out there. And even coming to reunion that year, I talked to my therapist the day before while I was in my dressing room at reunion. Because, I kept saying he gonna say something stupid and I'm gonna snap. And my therapist was like, it don't matter what he say, hold your composure. Because once you put it out there, your kids are gonna see it, your families are gonna see it, and it's permanent. But he and I are both so stubborn, and he is the coolest guy to hang with, to kick it with. But as a wife, I need something a little bit different and nurturing and protective. And I need babying. It's unfortunate. And people don't see that from me. I'm needy and I need to be coddled. Toya gets it.
Yeah.
But people don't see that side of me. But Jackie gets it. People get it. And my marriage had lost that. And, I was the biggest bitch ever a couple of years leading into that. And that combo is the combo for a divorce. I'm thankful for what reunion gave us. We would have just moved on. We would still be friends and still, get together and have a drink. We wouldn't be married.
So you will
without
say that reunion really brought this marriage back to a place to where leaving the reunion, you could start making the necessary steps to rebuild.
When it was the first time during the process we had been separated that people were so vocal. And I think people were working on us individually, but collectively in the same room, people were so vocal about we were being stubborn. We let ego and pride get in the way. And you have to be honest, I'm the captain of petty. And so, but when you call me out, I will sit and think and do some self-reflection. I have no problem doing self-reflection because I love me. I love everything about me. But, I know I have things I need to work on. I know I need things that should be changed.
Going to Dr. Jackie and Hilton Head, did you not know Dr. Simone?
I didn't remember. Jackie and I have been friends for more than 20 years. And that year that picture surfaced, or those pictures surfaced, like I can tell you exactly where I was when somebody came to my office with a cell phone showing me the pictures on social media. I can tell you my steps. I left my office, went to her office, and normally I would park at the front door, walk through the reception area, park in the back, call like, hey, can y'all let me in? And then went to go sit in her office. But Hilton Head was not the center or the focus of that situation. Here is a woman who has been so graceful throughout this reality TV thing for the most part. And to see this be just out there and embarrassing, she got attacked online with people saying, you work too much. That's why he cheated on you. Like, don't give nobody an excuse for doing wrong. When you're wrong, sit in it, acknowledge the fact that you're wrong, but it's not somebody else's fault. It was a lot. And, just praying for her and hoping for her to keep her marriage and get it back on track. And I told her one time, like, there's all this noise. And people are quick to be, I wouldn't have put up with that. People putting up with shit every day.
Baby.
Every day.
Yeah.
You putting up with something in your marriage. It's impossible not to be putting up with something. And I told her, cancel the noise. Don't even listen to that. But back to the original question, I did not remember. It was Hilton Head. I didn't.
Yeah.
But let me say this. The cheating that went with that person, it started in Atlanta and went to Hilton Head, and I felt like there was too much focus and drama about Hilton Head, and there was a different way, technically, that we should have played it versus highlighting the fact that.
But we rolled with their punches. Really and truly. We rolled with Jackie and Curtis's punches. We literally had no intention on bringing up the cheating allegations, and this was where it all happened, and we weren't going to do any drive-bys to the bar. None of that was going to happen.
Yeah.
We genuinely, when we called her, I was like, where are you? We're trying to get on this bus and go. And when we heard her start crying, we were like, is she crying? Because it really, we were like, what? We were like, why are you crying? Like, huh? Like, should we immediately, all of us was like, should we stop everything? Like, because that wasn't our intention. You know, and I even told her, I said, for you to say that me and Eugene would have been, or that I would have been the one to bring up any negativity around your marriage, just because I didn't agree verbatim with everything that she was saying back then, I was like, where did that come from? I've never said anything.
But I love how Heavenly says we could have just gone somewhere else. You own a production company. You have shows.
Right.
Shit ain't that easy.
It's not.
Once you make a decision.
So that's what I said to her.
Easy.
I said in Dr. Simone's defense.
And so I'm not going to play with you that shit can just be moved. Like,
no, I said to her live, I said in Dr. Simone's defense, as production, it takes weeks to months to clear a trip.
Yes.
And we are the ones who make it happen. And if something happens last minute, we can't just say, oh, all this money we put up front can be null and void. So I did let the audience know.
But here's a fact. They are still married, which means they overcame Hilton Head. There's a fact, right? And so to have this little dot on the entire US of A that you're just going to avoid is crazy and unrealistic if you've overcome it.
Like, is Curtis never able to go back to Hilton?
And so we get an opportunity to show the viewers
how you overcome things.
Yes.
Which is why I was happy they showed up. Well, that's what this show's about. That's why I was happy they showed up. Are you jealous of Dr. Heavenly and Jackie's friendship?
Absolutely not.
Is she jealous of your friendship with Jackie? Is Dr. Heavenly jealous of Simone?
Because I think Heavenly and Jackie are close.
Are they closer than y'all two?
Than me and her?
I can't speak to, you mean
because you and Jackie at one point were very close.
Yes.
Who's closer now?
Distant.
Who's closer now to
Now Heavenly is closer to Jackie than I am. Now Heavenly is closer to Jackie than I am, but it has nothing to do with Heavenly. And let me say this, in December, we truly, truly have our friendship back where it's supposed to be. But I think Heavenly feels like she's in competition. You can't be in competition with as much shit as me and Jacqueline Walters have been
What do you mean by it doesn't have anything to do with Heavenly?
Our distance?
Yeah.
I think that this platform, the fact that we made it with a friendship intact for as long as we did on this platform, I think it's difficult. And think about how often the fans will have you in your feelings about something I said, about something I did. I think it's hard.
So do you think that this is my genuine opinion. I think that Heavenly puts in the work to build that relationship. I think right now,
Heavenly's an ass kisser. I don't kiss ass.
I think right now
we're equal. You're not on pedestal. We're equal. I don't kiss no ass. I think Heavenly is a chaser and an ass kisser. Is my honest opinion. Heavenly gives hers all the time. Used to down at the YouTube, and I'm just giving my honest opinion.
Oh, you go right ahead.
So she puts in the time, and I think that Jackie and Simone have not put in as much time, which has allowed me to put in more time with my friend.
Did you say to Quad, I can't go against Toya?
No. What I said, Quad and I were at CNS Seafood, and we were having dinner, and what I told her is this. Toya is not dictating any of my friendships. However, I'm not going to do anything that jeopardizes my friendship with Toya. And so me hanging out with Quad, being friends with Quad, she knows when I reached out to her after the incident. I told Toya I'm reaching out to her. It's Toya don't be like, Toya doesn't care about my friendships with any of these ladies because it's not impacting my friendship with her. And one of the things that happened in our friendship early on is she was like, you sit there, you're not saying anything, you don't have my back. And I made a decision, because Jackie's feeling is, well, you're always defending Toya. I made a decision that any time it's 2 against 1, and my friend is involved, you're going to hear my mouth. So if Quad and Toya are having a disagreement, as long as Heavenly keeps quiet, I'm quiet. Heavenly jumps in, I jump in. Because they were tag teaming.
And it's okay.
But if they tag team, I'm playing double dutch. I'm jumping in.
But I like the fact that even like earlier, I want to clarify something. I love the fact that she was like, well, hold on, drink a glass of wine, and have some water. Because sometimes I do give too much. And I would like to give bullet points, you know. But I do feel like at the end of the day, I know where some of these things have came from. You know, the fact that I was willing to do business with people that I have dated in the past, and that being a male. That they ran with that and was like, oh,
she said people I've dated in the past.
I've dated people
male, as if you had dated some females too.
She admitted that
but we're talking about a male right now.
Okay.
So
let me drink some more.
But we're talking
she's
about
part of the LGBTQ.
All I'm saying is, I would like the world. I want to set the record straight. I don't have any friendships that I've ended on a tragic note, unless you have done something to me personally. If they're outside of that, my exes, my male friends, female friends, we all love each other from 25, 30 years plus, all of my friends. And so if they have a business endeavor going on, I'm like, what's up? What's going on? I'm talking to my husband about it. And I think that's the difference in me and Eugene's relationship and so many other relationships. I'm saying, hey, honey, what do you think about this? And he's like, well, I really like, you know, your ex around. And I'm like, why? Have I ever gave you a reason? He's like, no. I was like, so can we at least see if it's going to make us any money? You know, what do you think? You know, I just wanted to, I think for me at that time, I just wanted to be out of the box. I felt like I had been boxed in on the show as this person who just was spending his money. And we knew it to be different. And I was like, I got to figure out some other business, something that's genuine. And he's like, well, I don't even know about that one. So, but, you know, of course that ended because it wasn't a great business endeavor. And then I moved on. But the reality is my people that I've been friends with for 25, 30 years, they built me back up. They was like, hey girl, I know you. You know you. You're a good friend. Don't let these people tell you you're not. Because there was a time when this group of ladies were telling me that I wasn't a good friend. I'll never forget it. In Quad's townhouse.
As long as you don't say bullshit apartment, child.
In Quad's townhouse. All these ladies. Okay, even my bestie.
Even your bestie.
Even my bestie was saying, hey, you're deserting us. You have new friends and you're not really giving us our time. And I'm like, well, y'all killing me. Y'all break out. These other people was fun at the time, and they were building me back up. And even as to where I went out, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do Married to Nothing anymore. I was so done. And I needed that. And so I don't feel bad for anything.
Why are you able to forgive Anila, though? For saying the same thing.
Did you hear what I said, Producer King? We all have made mistakes on this show.
Right.
Anila's was a...
Yo, boo, too.
No, Anila's was an act. Anila was an act. Okay, and let me tell you why. Production told me. They said, she wants to stab you in the back. They said, you bringing this girl on as your bestie. She gonna stab you in the back. I'm not gonna say who said it. He know. And I was like, no, not Anila. She cool. Her family cool. And so when it happened, I was genuinely hurt. Like, then Eugene got genuinely hurt because if you see his wife hurt, he hurts, right? Mm-hmm. So at that point, I was like, anything they could have done. Anything. I was with Anila yesterday. And I was like, and we were driving in the golf cart laughing, ha, ha, ha. And I said, you remember when I pushed you on camera? You remember at your skating party? Yeah. And we were all taking a picture, and I pushed Anila.
Oh, yes.
And I said, did Quiet and Heavenly
playing though?
I was playing. I said, but did Quiet and Heavenly try to say that I was about to fight you? She said they did, and they continued to do that to her. And I recognize, you know what? Anila is a victim. She really is. She's a victim of the same thing that I was a victim of early on. When, you believe everything, you want to believe everybody like you, you want to believe that everybody just wants to be your friend, but really they're planting seeds, right? And they're building what at the time was their side of the couch. And so they was trying to get in that because they didn't understand.
The side of the couch was heavy, literally and figuratively.
Yeah. But to answer your question, it was easy.
Heavy.
It was easy for me to forgive Anila because I have always been a forgiving person on the show. I hate that they're drawing this narrative that I would hate somebody because I don't hate not a soul in the world.
We've never seen you forgive. I mean, listen, you forgave Mariah, right?
Yes.
You and Mariah got into a fight.
I forgave Audra. I cried with Audra.
Yeah.
Right? I cleared that up when I could have not. I could have went further, even behind the scenes, and like this girl tried to attack me on camera. But instead, I was like, I've been there. When you lose yourself, And so I've always been a forgiving person. Simone, I felt like Simone hurt me when we were yelling at each other, not hearing each other. We did, but I have to get to a place where, and I took the time so that I could forgive. And normally, when I forgive, I forget.
You taught me that.
And I forget. I'm like, and I really do move past this. I really do. Anila genuinely came to me to my doorstep and she was like, almost in tears, like, I just want my friend back. And I said, you want your job back?
Ooh.
I did. And she said, I do.
Okay, at least she was honest.
And I can appreciate that.
I ain't mad at honest.
I can appreciate that. And I said, I'm all for it. If it brings ratings, I said, but what I'm not going to do is pretend to be your friend if you're not a genuine friend to me. And she said, let me prove it. I'm a genuine. She's like, I'm sorry. She was so honest about everything she had did. And I was like, okay, we'll see going forward.
So one last question.
Oh, boy.
Do you guys miss Mariah being on the show?
I think Mariah makes amazing TV.
Yeah, I do. But I don't, like we said earlier, we don't have any control over that. I
know that.
And
I don't have a hammer, and I don't have nails. Yeah. Let me say that.
I fought for Mariah so many times.
She makes amazing TV.
Yeah.
And she got
so many scenes that Mariah has done that I will never forget, that I chuckle to myself. And I was just like, she was amazing on camera. And she was being her authentic self, to be honest with you. That was who she was.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to see her back?
I would love to see her back. I think Heavenly and her have some mending.
Oh, you got some ground.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Here's the thing. And I'll go on record saying it. And I want y'all to, I want y'all opinion. At the end of the day, Heavenly needs somebody to play with.
Yeah.
And I felt like...
And, babe, they used to play.
I would agree with you, but I take one exception to the comment.
Go ahead.
Heavenly is playing under the mud now. Yeah. And if she had stayed her lighthearted self like she was season 2, season 3, starting to get treacherous in 4, we could play.
You think she goes too far?
She goes way too far. And so because of that, she doesn't need anybody
Nobody wants
else.
to play with her. Nobody wants to play in the playpen.
Because I don't even want to be affiliated with a show where you got to play that hard, boo.
Yeah.
I got 6 more years in my industry applying every other year for hospital privileges, applying every year to renew my malpractice. I don't want to do it. I never wanted to sign up. I'm cool with having a little sparring match. We don't agree. You do some reads on your green screen. I do some reads on my green screen. You can even say your mama. But there is some dragging that is so bad. I don't want to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. And so if you're going to get somebody to play with Heavenly, I need to be released. Because I don't want to be on a show where it has to be that bad and that negative and that nasty. If that's all we have to give, if I can't show you a scene with my sons, buying them some property, I got to go somewhere else and just go back to doing pap smears. And I'm so happy doing pap smears and delivering babies.
Yeah, you have passion for it.
Yeah. I could say
you
right
feel
there.
like there's a line that should not be
crossed. This has been
crossed.
a great ride, but if it ends today, mentally, I'm okay with that because it's so far we can't go.
I want to speak on behalf of the viewers because I am the president of the Married to Medicine fan club.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on, president.
So which blog is yours?
Come on, president.
Well, you know, I may have some equity problems. I'm teasing. No, we don't want to see that either. And that's why when I was saying about being triggered watching that episode, it wasn't just about her, it's about all of y'all. Like, I don't want my girls going out like that. Because I'm like, we don't do that. Like,
so
listen,
how do we go out?
No, this is what I would like for the show to be.
Okay.
Listen, my favorite season will always be season 5. And I'm going to tell you why. Everybody had personal story going on. And it was minimal female conflict. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, you still had the...
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But
always has some.
It's always a little bit. Like, you know, but the A story was what was happening in the household and navigation through the marriages and the work. And look, that's why I said Sweet Tea brought something great this season because it was nice to see a different perspective.
So going forward, you're going to hold Heavenly accountable for having a story, personal story.
Well, this is what she has said, and I think this is the reason why she gets away with it. Okay. And again, I'm not the producer of the show because, you know, she is saying you will never get her marriage on the show. We
don't have marriage. We have very limited family.
I respect that.
She said, I will give you everything else except that.
I respect that.
I will be messy. I'll call people out on their bullshit.
But that's her that's her making us her story.
No, I know.
But you do have us wondering exactly what goes on in that house.
In her marriage.
Oh, for sure. I want to see it.
Now the children are gone.
No, I want to see that. I want to see what goes on in the DR.
You want to wonder if they sleep in the same bed.
Are they?
Are they? I don't know, because we're her and the
Lord
Lord
we talking about?
In the same bed. No, I'm talking about Heavenly. I'm not talking about anybody but Heavenly.
Okay.
Did y'all switch? Who are y'all talking about?
Well, y'all
no, you said Laura and Heavenly
was talking about the DR.
Same bed.
And so we just...
That's her bestie. I'm just messing with you. And definitely messing with Heavenly. She's talking more shit than a little bit.
I know. So the cast for next season will be the DR because we want to see Curtis's retreat and resort.
I agree. I would have been an investor. I think we all would have. We all are looking for property abroad.
I'm not.
You wouldn't invest in him, but you used to be. You were looking
Georgia, but not in the DR.
Okay.
So y'all going to pretend like you looking at property in the DR now?
Pretend. I love the DR. I love the DR. I have an amazing time. They have beautiful water, beautiful people. People think I'm from the DR. I love the Dominican.
Yeah, they got beautiful women.
Yes,
in the DR,
they have beautiful men. They have beautiful everything. I have no
beautiful water.
I would rather go to the DR, the Bahamas.
Beautiful men.
Beautiful women, beautiful men.
Oh, men too.
Yeah. Really?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I'm like, what? Beautiful resort?
No, it's a beautiful town.
I mean, we went to Mexico. Let's go to the DR.
Yes.
We went to Mexico twice.
So you're voting for us to go to
DR. So my
nice trip.
my wish for next season is this. I want the collective to get back together.
Okay.
I want you ladies to find a way to all, be one cohesive unit.
Okay.
I will love to see what happens with Sweetie and Heavenly.
Okay.
I would love to see Dr. Alicia and Dr. Kima. I love his point of view because it's different.
Okay.
And
you don't necessarily agree, but it's different.
I don't agree with it, but he stands on business. And I appreciate when somebody's like, this is unpopular, but I'm going to say it.
And you think we're going to see something real?
With Dr. Alicia and Dr. Kima? Well, I'm hopeful based on how she got with Heavenly on the IG Live. Because I told Heavenly, I said she held her own and I was proud of her. I said she unmuted the Zoom call and finally,
yes.
Said something. I said she's a little, there's something up there because, baby,
But I don't think she's going to show
anytime you laugh
that.
and read.
I don't think she would show that.
Well, if she's not, then we don't need her.
But she had all season to say how she felt about Heavenly. She never did. Her attacks were only at me. All season.
Because we know you'll hit a bitch. I'm teasing. So much.
I honestly didn't give her anything.
I know, because we also know that means you will get off the show. We don't give somebody nothing.
Uh-oh.
I know how this works. But look, great
Come
season.
at me if it's genuine. If you have a genuine concern, I'll give it to you. I'll give you what you want.
Okay, so I'll call Audra.
Yeah.
So the thing is...
Audra should have no concerns with me.
I'm teasing. But no, great season. Great season. Congratulations on the ratings. In this climate, to have a show be on for 10 years and to have a double-digit increase in ratings where you're beating other shows for the first time in history is a testament to you ladies. It really is. Continue to thrive. Continue to just figure shit out in a very funny, respectful, shady way. Okay?
That's some great advice.
Thank you.
I love the girls. Thank you. Dr. Simone survived the raindrops. All right, raindrops. Now, I hope you enjoyed that video. And if you did, that means you should love these suggested videos right here. So make sure you click on one of these and watch it. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.